Bouyon! Ay, ay, ay. That's like a sauce. Hey, Pepe.
Good evening, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Bouyon. Let me tell you, we are able to resolve our problems, so I am so happy. We had a technical issue, but I am happy that it's all resolved. So once again, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another powerful edition of the Bouyon Talkshow right here on Watch Radio NYC. Tonight is a very special one, because we pause to celebrate some of the most important, powerful, and selfless people in our lives, our mothers. Mothers are the heartbeat of our families, the backbone of our communities, and often the silent strength behind so many success stories. From the sleepless nights to the unconditional love, from the sacrifices to the endless support. Tonight, we honor motherhood in all its beauty and strength. This evening, we'll be sharing stories, reflections, laughters, and real conversation about the journey of being a mother, the challenges, the joys, and the incredible impact mothers continue to have on our lives every single day. So, whether you are listening from St. Lucia, New York, the Caribbean, or anywhere around the world, we welcome you to be part of this heartfelt Mother's Day edition of the Bouyon Talk Show. And to every mother listening tonight, we celebrate you, we appreciate you, we thank you for all that you do and continue to do for your family. So thank you. So good night, good night. Let me bring on my guests. Good evening, ladies. How are y'all? First of all, let me wish you guys a happy Mother's Day. How are y'all feeling tonight?
Thank you. I'm feeling well. And
You
how are
feeling
you?
well, Sandra? Good, good. How about you, young lady? How are you feeling? Can you cannot hear me? Wow. Let me tell you, it is a serious challenge we're having tonight. And I don't know why, but for some reason, they say the devil
Can
is
you hear
real.
me? Because I can hear you on my other phone. I can't hear you on my
Ah,
phone.
I can hear you.
Yes.
I can hear you.
Oh my God, now I can't hear him, babe.
Now you can't hear us at all?
Because I can hear you on my other phone. I can't hear you on my phone.
Lois, can you hear us? Can you hear us? No?
Oh my God, now I can't hear you, babe.
Tonight the challenge is real.
No, I mean, unless I talk to you from this phone, it will be delayed. The response may be delayed.
Okay, well, that's fine. I would say get out and come back in. Maybe that work, but maybe it wouldn't.
No, I mean, unless I
Because
talk
that's the
to you from
conventional thing.
this
Sometimes when
phone,
something
it may
doesn't
be
work, we
delayed.
turn it off and we turn it back on, and voila, it works. So you want to try that, or you just want to answer from your other phone? It's really up to you. Because
Okay,
then we have
I can do that.
feedback. So that is one of the problems. So what I will do, I will allow
No,
go
I'll
out
try.
and come back in, and let me just while she's coming in and trying to figure it out, let me just I oh, did you go out or did you come back? What happened here? Oh, she's frozen. Okay, let me take her out. Hopefully that fix. So Chandra, while we have um um oh, she's here. Let's see. She's used her other phone. Let's see.
Okay, I
Let's
can hear
see.
you now. Can you hear me?
Oh, great, nice. Finally,
Yes.
sometimes
I'm gonna get the
these
show on
things
the road.
happen, but we have to adapt,
Yes.
because technology sometimes does that to us. So talk to me, ladies. Talk to me. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself. And what does it mean to be celebrating Mother's Day today?
I'd like my co-guest go first.
Okay, Chandra, you can't hear us.
I can't hear her. I can hear you.
Okay, that's all right. Once you
Go
can hear
ahead.
me, we're good. So go ahead, Chandra.
Oh, well, me being a mother means everything to me. It's because my children are my world. They changed my life. And how I was raised is family is always first. I was raised by my grandmother. Even though my mother was in my life, I preferred to live with my grandmother because she taught me different things that my mother couldn't teach me. She taught me how to cook everything from scratch. She taught me how to sew, how to do needlepoint, how to do yarn, how to just do stuff from back in the days because she was born in 1914, and then back in them days, being the minority that we were, you had to make what you needed. You had to improvise. That's why we have a lot of black inventors, because we had a need and we had to find a way to fill that need. So we had to come up with clever ways to fill that need. And so that's why she taught me everything that I needed to know. And I really appreciate that. And she taught me the value of family. And that's what I took as me being a mother was like one of the greatest honors that God could have bestowed upon me.
Thank you. Thank you. What about you, Lois?
So you did say introduce. So I am Lois
Yeah.
FRAY. I currently reside in New York. As I continue to talk, you will hear my accent is from Trinidad. So prior to the show, when you say if you're watching from St. Lucia, if you're watching from wherever, so I'm sure there probably would be some Trinidadians logging on because I did share the link. So so yeah, so I'm originally from Trinidad. I've been in New York for the past 26 years. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm an employee, I'm a business owner. I do handmade leather earrings, and I do have two children, a son. My son, his name is Malachi, and my daughter is Sophie. They're 10 and 11. And what was your next question? What does motherhood mean to us?
Yes.
Motherhood is quite interesting. It's a quite interesting journey. I was married for 7 years before I had children. And I do take it as an absolute honor to be a mother because I look at it as God entrusted his precious gems into my hands to steward and to direct and to raise. So it's such a privilege and an honor that God will choose me to raise two of his precious gems.
You know that's a good way of putting it. So thank you so much, ladies. So let me ask, in one word, what does motherhood mean? If you had to use one word to describe it, what would you say motherhood mean to you in one word? Or we could start with you because yeah,
I would say interesting.
interesting.
When I don't have a word to say, it's interesting. It's quite interesting in good ways and interesting ways. It's interesting, yes.
How about you, Chandra?
My word is gratifying.
Gratifying.
Yes. You know I can't hear her, right?
Yeah, I know you can't hear her,
Okay.
so,
Okay.
so
Okay.
that's all
Okay.
right. So you for now we'll have to deal with you hearing me.
Okay, got you. We're improvising. That's what we
Yes,
do. As a
because
parent as well.
and that's the beauty of technology too. You know what I'm saying? You can't hear, but at least you can hear me, so that's okay.
Yes.
Correct. Correct.
Um, tell us about your journey and what has it been like to be I know, Lois, you said you have two beautiful children.
Yes.
Tell us what that journey has been like for you.
So interesting, yeah. So again, when it took us 7 years to actually conceive. And I can't put a finger on why we weren't conceiving. I just think that everything is in God's timing. And when I actually did give birth to my son, and then 6 months after, when he was 6 months after I gave birth, I was pregnant again with my daughter. So my children are 15 months apart, which means I had two very small babies raising while I was going to school, while I was doing my bachelor's, while I was working in corporate for almost a decade. And it was quite scary, right? Because I had to keep two very newborn children alive. There's
Right.
no manual. There's no, book that I can tell that would tell me how to raise children. It's a motherly instinct that that God bestow on us whenever we give birth. But my choice was to leave my corporate job for almost a decade. I worked in corporate, and I chose to leave my corporate job to raise my children because at that time, daycare was doing crazy things. Daycares were abusing children and they were always in the news. And that was a hard decision for me to make at that point in time because it was a transition from being single or childless to now becoming a mother. And I had a lot of big decisions to make. And at that time, it felt hard. But I look back now and it was one of the best decisions that I've ever made in my life was to leave my job and raise my children.
All right, all right. Chandra, what is What is the journey of being motherhood like to you? Have been like to you?
My journey of motherhood has been a blessing upon my life. Um, Being a mother, I think, changed my life because it gave me more of a reason to stop doing bad stuff and crazy stuff that would get myself in trouble because I realized I had somebody that needed me. And it's been a challenge because my mother died when passed away when I was younger, when my baby was younger, when I was first born. I mean, when my baby was first born at 2 years, when baby was two. And so it was just me and my mother helping me. And so when she passed away, it was like everything fell on me. I thank God that I worked in a system where it was an early childhood center where my daughter can go to school from 2.5 years old and I can still go to work. But within them last 4 years, it was a struggle because I was have to get her to daycare, get to work, get from work, get her to daycare. But that showed me right there that I was in this alone and I had to be the one to depend on this, myself for this and God. And this baby depended on me and she didn't ask to be in this world. So
Sure.
why would I put that struggle on her or make her life any less because I'm struggling? So I tried to be the best parent that I could be because I was raised by one of the best parents that I could be
Wow.
because
So,
that's it
so,
was instilled in me.
so Chandra, one of your main or adjustments that you had to make was to change your life around, that they kind of stop getting yourself into trouble.
Yes.
Be a more responsible adult.
Yes.
All
Make
right.
more responsible choices. It's like now when you're outside, if somebody does something to you and you have to think of how you react because your reactions gonna have a reaction from someone else and then there's always a consequence behind your actions. And at the time of the moment when you're angry or you're upset, you're not thinking about the consequences. So I've now learned to I see the consequences first and they're
All
like,
right.
it's not worth it. You're not stealing my joy. You're not stealing what I got. And that's where I'm at nowadays, especially in today's society.
I love that attitude. For the benefit of our audience, can you tell us how many children you have?
Oh, I have four
You have four.
altogether.
One,
Yeah.
one girl, or how many
No,
ladies?
two girls and two boys.
Two girls and two boys. So you have them. Oh, nice. Okay.
Nice.
All
Yes, I
right.
have
Let's
four.
just
Two
say a
brothers.
good evening to persons who have joined us. Once again, guys, I want to say a good night to you. Welcome to our Bouyon Talk Show tonight. We're slightly late because we had a technical error, but a technical problem, but that all resolved and we're good to go. I want to say thank you guys so much. This is an interactive show. And for all the mothers listening, I want to say happy Mother's Day. And for all the Trinis in the house, happy Mother's Day to the Trinis. You know, I had to say that. I had to say that, right?
Yes.
So as a mother, what have been your proudest moments? Chandra, we'll start with you, and then we'll move to you.
My proudest moment for my children, for me, with my children, is watching them grow up to be successful adults.
Success without.
Also, watching my grandchildren be born and just seeing how all my values that I instilled in them growing up, how it stayed in them, that they're great individuals as an adult. They have compassion, they have empathy, they have love. So that's what's lacking in our society now. We're not loving on each other.
Yeah.
We're more envious and jealous and want to just be doing bad stuff to each other when we need to be loving each other and building each other up as a people. And that's how I raised my children. We are all
Thank,
family.
thank you for that. That's a good way. How
Yeah.
about you? Look,
So since my children are 10 and 11, I have a long way before I know what it is to be a grandma and, have adults.
yes.
But one of the things that I'm really proud of with my children is when people on the outside tell me how respectful, even when I'm not around, how respectful my children are, how kind they are, how caring they are. Because my son and my daughter, and we can get into that, they have two very different personalities. And let me tell you one quick story about my son. So they go to separate schools, and I remember one time I pulled in the parking lot and this man was running up to my car, and I thought it was a parent coming to complain because the passion on his face, it was just very like. So I reluctantly wind on my window. I'm like, "Hi, how are you?" And he was like, "Are you the mom?" I didn't know if to say yes or no. I mean, I could be the auntie. I don't know. I mean, it depends on what you're gonna say. And he said, I want to tell you that you have a blessed young man. Like your
Yo, it
son is
is.
so blessed. He is so amazing because he, as the lunch steward, like he looked over the lunch period. He said, out of all of the students in the school, your son is the only one that comes up to me every day and shakes my hand and asks me how I'm doing and have a conversation with me. My child is 11, right? And I that really touched me because it shows that I'm raising them. You know, they're taking the values and the teachings that I give them. And he has so much respect for an adult that he would go and shake his hand and tell him hi every single day. And my daughter, one time in church, I see her leave her friends. She's 10. All of her friends that was playing, she saw this mother with three very small children, and she saw the struggle. The children were cranky. The mother seemed frustrated. And my daughter gave up playing with her friends and say, hey, I can take your baby. Like, I can help you. And you see her rocking the child and trying to soothe the child because she saw the mother's frustration. And that's mothers throughout the church who I don't even know personally would come up to me and say, your daughter is amazing. So that's what I'm proud of, but also that they're in church and that they know how to pray. They know how to pray for their family. They know how to serve God with their life. And that's what I'm proud of.
You know, that's great. Now, I know it's not Father's Day, so I will now speak on behalf of my wife. Okay. So I have two little ones. You know, I speak about them every opportunity I get. So I have two little ones. My daughter is 7 going on 16. My
Wow.
son, my son is 11. My son is the one who hugs and kisses and I love you, I love you, I love you. My daughter is the one who says, "Mommy, I love you." That, you know, like that. It doesn't come out easily, but she's so loving as well. And what you're saying just kind of remind me of how proud my wife is when someone walks up to her and say, "Oh my God, your kids are so well behaved.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Lucas is so sweet. He's one of the best students in the school." And and it's just and you know, she lights up. So you reminded me of her when you were speaking about your children. So so thank you. So I had to say that, right?
Yes.
And you know, it's really nice when and I know Chandra just said that, how she's so proud of the values that she have instilled in her kids, and how it makes her so proud when they're so kind and loving and attentive to other people and how people are feeling. So I think that's an amazing, and I wish like all parents would be like that, because I think it's amazing that your children have empathy. They're able to see the needs of others, and that's really important. But let me ask, because you know, in all of the goodness and in all of the pride and the joy of being a mother, or even being a parent, they also come those challenges. They also that time, and there's certain things that sometimes as parents we never talk about.
Yeah.
So tell us in your like estimation as a mother, in your experience as a mother, tell us some of the things that you think that parents just don't talk about, some of the challenges. And we can start with you, Lois.
For
So
me,
the first thing that came to my mind is being a mom. One of the difficulty about being a mom or a parent is trying to heal while raising children. I think that is not talked about enough. And only until I got to this age, only until I got to this age, when I was 16, when I was 17, 18, right? Anyone above 35 seemed old to me. And sometimes we would look at older people and say, oh, you're grown. Like, you're a grown woman. Like, why are you behaving like this? Like, we thought that grown women had it all together. They were heel whole and had it all together. But it's until I reached to this age, I got to this age, I realized that the healing journey from childhood trauma, it takes a long time to heal. Like, it takes a really long time because we lived a long time in survival mode, trying to figure out how to live life, trying to figure out life. And then here you are married and with children, but you realize and marriage and motherhood will uncover unhealed places in your life that sometimes you thought you got over. So now trying to heal while be a mother and raise healthy children and break generational curses, that's a heavy thing to balance, and that's a heavy thing to carry through. And then there's that every stage is different. The newborn stage, the toddler stage, the children stage, the preteen, the teenager, right? All of those stages are tough to are challenging to carry. but you didn't ask for the solution. So those are the things that I think are challenging when, depending on who you are, trying to heal while break generational curses and raise healthy children.
Thank you. What about you, Chandra?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna say I'm not only a mother. I'm a mother. I'm a wife, and I'm a grandmother. I'm a grandmother of an 18-year-old granddaughter, and
Oh,
my
wow.
youngest granddaughter is
Wow.
getting ready to be 8. But I think the challenges. I wrote this down because I work with children every day. What I think some challenges of being a mother and a parent is the lack of knowledge to help the children, and they have no time or patience to have children. They're not being taught to respect themselves, adults, authorities, or to have values with no consequences for everything. They're not leading by example. They're letting society and technology raise their children. They're not sitting down and just talking to their child and then listening to your child. They're not asking questions about their day, how they work, how they doing in their school, how if they what their day was like. They're just not showing their that much concern. They're not giving praise and encouragement when the child is struggling. They need to foster an open line of communication where they feel that they can come and talk to you about anything without judgment or undue embarrassment. They need to build that trust where they will talk to you about everything because they know that you are there to listen, support, not to just judge them. You are to encourage, to build up their endurance and the confidence for them to know how to pick it up and keep on moving. That's what I think our parents are lacking now. They are too busy. We are have to work to pay bills, so our job and our this and our that is taking away our quality time with our children, just showing our children the basics. When somebody open the door for you, you say thank you. If somebody sneezes, you say God bless you. It's just stuff like that. You get up and give your seat to the elderly person. We're not teaching our children how we were raised back in when I was raised. It's not a norm anymore. Now it's just like, oh man, go in the room and watch TV. Oh, get on your tablet, on your phone. We can't let technology raise our children. Technology is not teaching our children how to be human, how to be compassionate. And that's where I feel because I work in the system and I see it. I've been seeing it and it's a shame. And that's why I think I'm so dedicated as a parent. I'm not only a parent of mine, I'm an educator. I work in the school with children. I done influence hundreds of children and I didn't even realize it until recently when I'm retiring now. So they did a whole tribute to me and all the people, all the older people, the people that I taught with, the people that I work, children that I work with, that I didn't know I touched their life like that, did a whole tribute to me where they celebrated me last week on Thursday. And it brought me to tears that I didn't realize I made such an impact on children's lives like that. And
Wow.
that's where that's where I get my reward from that right there.
Well, congratulations on your
Thank you.
retirement, and congratulations that people have, see the value in what you're doing and what you continue to do. But you strike a very, very, very interesting point, and I want to say that a lot of times we need to kind of strike the balance because sometimes, you have to go out there and work because you have to feed those kids, and sometimes you're busy because you stress, and especially single parents, right? They're so stressed because they want to get things done. They want to make sure they take care of that child. So sometimes we have not sometimes but we have to find a way to strike the balance, and that's why it's so important to be surrounded by community, by your society, by people, by your family. And sometimes when you're in the US and you're not in the Caribbean, you don't have that kind of support system that you need, because I remember, as I'm speaking there, I remember when my wife was pregnant about a month or so before she gave birth, her mom passed away. So again, here you had someone who'd be there at home to help with taking care of that child and raising that child, but that
Yeah.
person has gone. So sometimes, we not sometimes, but we have to find that balance where we can share with our kids, love them, but also be able to care for them as well. So I think that's an important point. But thank you for sharing that. When those difficult moments come by, how do you, as a parent, as a mother, how do you cope? How are you able to deal with those difficult moments? Chandra?
I pray.
You pray.
And
Which
I do a
one?
lot of I cry. I talk about it. I thank God they got I married my childhood sweetheart, so we're like best friends. So I talk about it, and I have other resources and people that I talk to. But I also like to draw. I do a lot of art. I do a lot of draw. So
Okay.
me drawing it, I draw things that represent my mood. So my favorite character is Snoopy. So I draw Snoopy in whatever mood I am for that day. I draw Snoopy doing something that's in that mood to release it. And then I sign it and I date it. And then I can look back on that day and be like, oh, that day I felt like this. This day I
Oh
felt like
wow.
this. So and that's like my form of therapy. And I have a book that I carry around with me that I draw. And I've been drawing for almost this. Let me see. I started drawing in it last year, and every day, practically every day, I go through something. I draw in that book.
Wow. Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's your way of coping. Wow.
yeah,
I
yeah. And I
love
do a
that.
lot of praying. I talk to God a lot. I
A
talk to
lot of
God a lot because
praying.
I'm a very Christian woman, and I go to church. I'm in the praise dance team. I was on the praise dance team before I was diagnosed with something, so I just had to concentrate on that, and it really had to. I really had to find more faith with being diagnosed with something, but then I have to come to terms with, all right, you're not dead, you're still alive. You got to keep pushing, So,
And
and
you
that's
got
where I'm at. That's where I'm at today.
and you got to thank God all the time because He's
Every
amazing.
day,
He is
every day,
indeed amazing.
every day.
Us?
So my first 2 points is with Chandra. I pray and cry, like pray a lot and cry, pray a lot and cry a
Oh, I
lot.
got that.
But according to her, it's always good to have a supportive partner, spouse. So my husband, when he calls me from work, how are you doing? And then he has to hear all of it. But what I find is really therapeutic to me is because my children are old enough that I can leave them for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. I either go in my car or drive close by to my favorite restaurant, sit down and eat my food by myself, get my favorite iced coffee, and put on some music. Because if I come in the house with the food, they want some food. Can you
Right.
share? So I drive away, get my favorite food, my favorite drink, and my favorite music, and I just bask in that moment.
Wow. So we all have. So Chandra would draw. That's what she would do, and she would sign it. Ah, look at her. Okay, got it. Oh,
It's like it depends. I got a lot. I got a whole. This whole book is almost full
oh
of
wow.
drawings because
Nice.
every day, every mood that I'm in.
That's nice.
All right, nice, nice. This is how So we all
Look,
find our
look,
coping
wait. I have
mechanism.
one that y'all would definitely appreciate. Watch.
you know so so you draw, and then you buy your favorite treat, this favorite thing you like to eat, you
Yes.
drive away and you listen to your music and you just chill and
Yes.
Yeah,
relax, take you to that next level.
yeah,
Many times, we as parents, we get overwhelmed,
very
and
much.
even in just normal day-to-day routine, that things that we do, even at work, in our businesses, in our daily life, we get those things that we feel overwhelmed by. How do you push through as a mother when you have these little ones depending on you and you feel so overwhelmed that you don't even feel that you want to move on? How do you push through that?
Me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, I just, what I think. How I push through it is I realize that I'm the sole person that this person is dependent on. So I know I can't let them down. And so that automatically right there is giving me my drive. That if I don't do it, I don't have nobody else to do it. Who gonna do it? That child is dependent on me. That child did not ask to come into this world. So now while they're here, I have to take care of them. No choice to the matter. I made that choice to lay down and have that child. So now I gotta provide for that child until that child is able to provide for themselves. But not only that, you gotta make sure that child is competent enough to function to take care of yourself. So it's not just having a child, it's having a child and teaching that child to be loving and nurturing and how to be successful in society. And that's a lot. It's a lot. And then how society is, children learning from other children. Our society now is, the stuff that they're teaching each other is not really stuff that's going to get them successful in life. Granted, everybody ain't going to be a YouTuber, everybody ain't going to be a gamer. It's like, that's like a 10 in a billion shot that you're going to get that. But now everybody have it in their mind what you're going to be. Oh, I'm going to be this. Oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm going to be an athlete. Oh, I'm going to be this. But you still have to think about, all right, I'm going to shoot for that star. But if I don't hit that star, where I'm going to land? What's my next second alternative? That's how I try to put stuff in people's mind, and students and children's mind. And that's what I look at as a mother, because you can do anything you put your mind to. You just got to have that drive and dedication to do it. It's your need of how much you want to do it. That's like I tell my little granddaughter, you want to get on your tablet when you want to get on that tablet. You could do anything you want on that tablet. But when I say do the homework, I don't want to. See, that's the thing. It's not fun for you, but it ain't what you want to do. It's like you have to do certain things in society just to get to the next level. And that's why I think our society is failing, is our students and our children. Not even as parents, because if the parents don't know better, they can't do better.
Thank you. Thank you for that. How about you, Lois?
Sorry, can you ask the question again?
No, I was asking, we sometimes get overwhelmed. How do you
Overwhelmed.
push through? Yeah.
I think it depends on the stage that your children are at. So newborn stage, the age that my children are at, or preteens. When you're at the newborn stage, you can't really leave them. Like, you have to stay with your children. But what I think is really important to remind yourself and tell yourself that these are the gifts that God gave you, and He's going to give you the strength, and He's going to give you the grace to push through every stage. But what also is very important is finding someone, a safe person to talk to, someone to unleash, someone to tell, a non-judgmental person who would say, listen, I understand, I get it, you got this, you got to keep going. But it depends on what stage you are in your life. For me, I can just, put on my favorite audiobook or my favorite music, or I can talk to my husband, I can talk to my sister. But to always remember that the gifts that God gave you, those gems that God gave you, it's yours to steward, and you will have to answer to Him depending on how you treat His precious gem. But just remember that He is going to give you the grace and the strength to keep pushing through. So yes, overwhelming times come, but you will get over it. You will get through it.
Lois, we a lot of times hear about a mother's love. That's the greatest love, and a mother's love. How how would you describe that in your own words when you talk about a mother's love?
I honestly think it's indescribable. You have to experience it in order to really put into words what a mother's love is. And what is so cool about that is that we can, and I know God is not like man, right? His thoughts are beyond our thoughts, his ways aren't like our ways. But when you look at this child that God gave you, that you gave birth to, there's a love and a compassion and a grace that fills your heart, that no matter how troublesome that child is, or they may do wrong things, because like the Bible says, foolishness is locked up in the heart of a child, right? That you just can't not love this child. There is a love and a grace and a compassion that fills your heart, that you continue to guide, and you continue to care for, and you continue to love, and you continue to raise. It's indescribable, honestly, and all mothers and all parents can identify. And I just want to tell those who aren't a mother yet, who are still on that journey to become a mother, when you get there, you will understand.
All right, okay. All those going to be mothers, or preparing themselves to be parents or mothers, when you get there, you will understand.
Yes.
Chandra, how about yourself? How about yourself, Chandra? How do you describe a mother's love?
A mother's love is unconditional, because I'm going to love my child no matter what the situation is. And it don't matter what they decide to grow up to be in life, or if they're a failure, if they're a success. As long as you showing them genuine love, you just have to be there to support your child. You cannot abandon them or feel away because you can't have your child living up to your expectations. You gotta let them live up to their own expectations. Just have high expectations for your child. So to me loving my child, a love for children alone, not just my child, is unconditional because they're younger. They don't know. You have to teach them. So when you put that love and that nurturing in them, it as they grow older, they'll learn how to be appreciative as an adult and be able to pass it on. So for me, being a mother is the greatest gift that you can have. On top of is keep replenishing our earth, because without mothers, our humankind would end. I mean, granted, I know they got all these new ways now, but the original way is us mothers.
It's let me just say a good night to everybody who've joined us. Don't forget, this is of course the Bouyon Talk Show. You're tuned to Watch Radio NYC. And again, guys, I want to encourage you to share your comments or say whatever. It's an interactive show, so we want you to get involved. I know people are very quiet tonight. They're all here just listening. I can see Sabina said, amazing mothers, happy Mother's Day. Leona just said, good night, Peter D, and happy Mother's Day to your guests. And again, I want to say happy Mother's
Thank you.
Day to all of the wonderful mothers out there in the world, because it is really it is really the silent strength of a mother, because there's so much that you go through or that mothers go through that we don't even talk about. They go through the pain of seeing their little ones sick. They go through the joys of seeing them succeed. They go through the heartache of maybe, you sit down there and you realize your child is not, and no one is playing with your child. Your child is just sitting there alone and you wonder, is my child lonely? Or is he or is she, or they just choose to be there and not play with anyone? What is going on? What is the mindset? And then you wake up in the middle of the night and your child is crying or there's a pain, and you cannot solve the pain. You pray and say, God, let me have that pain instead of my loved one. So when we talk about that love, that kind of love that transcends all of the feeling, that love that you will just give your life to that, for that particular child, to replace, like if they're going through something, I'll take it on for you, because that's what I am supposed to do as a parent. And let me tell you, and they say the bond of a mother is even greater than the bond of a father. I don't know how great that can be,
I
because
believe
I could tell you as a father, I would jump in front of the train for my child.
Exactly.
And if they say a mother love is even greater, then let me tell you. And I mean,
Yeah.
like I say, I could see it in the eyes of my wife, my sisters, my family, my aunts, my mom. When your mom look at you, you could see that she's proud. She's
Yeah.
happy that is my son, that is my daughter. I'm so proud of you. One of the things I think we don't say enough to our children is how much we love them.
Yes.
I think that's
Right.
one of the things, especially as Caribbean
Yep.
parents. I think your mother loves you. You know that, but they seldom say it, and that is the stereotype I want to break out of for
Yes.
my kids. I say it all the time, how much I love you. I think that's extremely important. Let's talk a little bit about balance of life and identity and all of that good stuff, because having a child or having children doesn't mean that the other aspects of life has stopped,
Yeah.
because the bills are coming, the frustrations of work, the waking up on early morning, making sure things are done. How do you guys, and Chandra, will start with you, how do you balance your everyday life and being a mother?
I juggle.
On
That's what I do.
it's real talk. So thank
That's
you.
real talk. I juggle. I take every day one day at a time, because you never know what the day gonna bring. You try not to plan it out, because when you make plans, something always changes. But I sacrifice my time or my whatever for my children or my family, because that's what mothers do. We are there to be the providers. We are there to just to be the nurturers, to be the go-to for everything. So I'm that mother that you're gonna come to for everything. And so that's why I strive to be the best role model that my family can be proud of me, so that when they get older, I can be a little inspiration for them, and it can build their confidence. Like, oh wow, my mom did this and my this, and she's still took care of the house, and she still did this, and she. I just want to be that type of mother, because you have to show them better than you can tell them. Me telling you to telling you and telling you and telling you ain't doing nothing. But I'm gonna show you now. But me showing you now, you're gonna have to see. You're like, wow, I used to watch my mother do this and do this, and shoot, if she can do it, I can do it. And that's why I think being a mother is. And no matter where your child is, you meet that child where they're at, and then you bring them to where you want them to be. You can't automatically assume they're gonna know it. You know what I mean? So, and that's where I'm at as a parent. I want to teach you first, and then go from there.
Thank you, Lois.
Yes, I agree with Chandra. I agree with her. I find balance by including my children in my world. So now they're at the age where I don't want my children to think is that I'm a superwoman. Okay, and this may be an unpopular opinion, but I think our mothers gave us the impression that they were superwomen and they were very tired. They went above and beyond. They left themselves for last. And I think that came out in some of the frustration, that it took out on their children. So I try to tell my children, listen, I'm a human being just like you. So I bring them along with teaching them. I bring them along with me. So, hey, help me wash the clothes or help me do the dishes, help me sweep the house. Because if I go to work and I am helping you with money, because children always, when you pick them up from school, want something to eat outside, which means I have to have the money to buy you a treat every single time. So when we get home, mommy is tired as well. So you come along with me while I teach you life skills. Also, you help me out. So in there, at my stage, the stage of life that I'm at with my children, I bring them along with me with the things that I have juggling in life. And that's where I find my balance, along with my amazing husband and along with the strength that the Lord gives me every single day.
Amen. You brought me to kind of the next question I had, because a lot of times, and I've seen that in not just friends, but I've seen that in family, where sometimes mothers lose themselves
Yep.
because they're caring for the kids. How do how is it that how can a mother find that balance in not losing themselves? Because you want to take care of your child, but you don't want to lose who you are. And I think you alluded to that, because our parents before, I know my mom, a single mother, raising 5 children, and you see she go to work every day, and you figure that she's that
Yep.
superwoman. But then there's that tiredness. There's the days that you see the sadness on her face because she's not sure, how am I going to feed those 5 mouths? She's not sure, but then she's being strong for us. So there are the days when she sacrificed not eating something, but
Right.
making sure you had something to eat. So how can parents or mothers, how can they better adjust themselves that they do not lose themselves? And we want to start with you, Lois.
I think this question kind of is very similar to the previous question, along with bringing balance. But I think the question you originally wanted to ask is, do mothers lose themselves, or have
Yeah.
you experienced losing yourself? And I'm glad you asked. So when my children were, I don't remember, in 2018, so my 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 4. So when my children were 3 and 4, I realized I was in that space of losing myself. All I smelled like all day was Similac and baby formula, and I wasn't combing my hair. I wasn't taking showers as often because I have 2 very small babies to take care of. And this is how my business was birthed, right? So I remember I had 7 pieces of leather, and I remember I used to like to dress up and wear fancy earrings, but now I have 2 babies to take care of, and I felt like I lost myself, and I really wanted to rescue myself again. And I had 7 pieces of leather, and I made one pair of earring for myself, and I just wore it, and I'm like, wow, like this made me feel alive again. It made me feel beautiful. And I went online and I showed the earring, and several women were like, hey, can you make me a pair? Can you make me a pair? And my business turned into live sales. So I started doing live sales, and I can't tell you the amount of women who were in my inbox crying, saying, I haven't felt this beautiful in a long time. moms who felt like they lost themselves and they wasn't dressing up anymore, wasn't taking care of themselves. And I started to do live sales and I started to bless mothers all over with fee and kai, right? With earrings. And
Wow.
I can tell you the amount of testimonies I got from women who said, I haven't felt this beautiful in a long time. So I think God is very strategic, and it may not be earrings for you, but God sees where you are at the point in time in your life, and He is going to spark an idea. Something is going, because I didn't hear God's audible voice saying, make an earring, but something sparked in me to make an earring, which rescued me, which in turn rescued so many other women from feeling lost and in the dumps.
Wow. Thank you, Chandra.
Um, how I deal with stress and being overwhelmed is I have quiet moments. I like to read. So I cut off the TV and I sit and I read, and my moments are between 11:30 at night and 1 a.m. because during the rest of the day I'm doing everything else for family. Other moments that I have for myself that I replenish is when I'm in the bathroom in the bathtub. I'll soak in the bath and maybe put, some candles or something just to relax and rejuvenate. But the sacrifice, I always put my children first. It's no matter. It's when I think of anything, I don't think of it for myself. I think of it for my kids. And it's just that I don't know. I just because I've been raised that way. My grandmother and them, they made a lot of sacrifices for me as growing up as a child, and I didn't know it then. As I got older, I realized that that night when we was cooking dinner and she only made 4 pork chops, and it was 4 of us, and I wanted the extra pork chop. That it was her pork chop that she gave me. You understand? So we make sacrifices, and as a mother, that's just a part of being a mother. Whereas everyone is not meant to be a mother. They just not. It's not in them. But the ones that are, they have amazing, amazing, amazing mothers. They have some that go overboard. And they have some that just perfect. And there's some that. But it's just the point of a mother's love is something that can't be broken, or it's one of the best feelings that I've ever experienced. Once I first had my first child, like I said, it completely changed my life. That's all I had to do was just see her face and hold her, and it was a wrap. Everything else was over. I had to get a good job. I had to do this, that. It was just like my whole world now was my daughter.
I can relate. I can relate because when my son was born, I was just in awe. I was in on cloud nine. I was good, happy. Tell us, what are some of the values that you're most intentional about passing on to your children? Chandra, we'll start with you.
I will teach the values that I teach my children are they have to have respect for oneself, respect for each other, integrity, love, just compassion, morals, empathy, just common sense stuff. It's just you have to treat others the way you want to be treated. You have to just love. It's nothing wrong with smiling at somebody. I did an experiment the other day where I had to take the train in New York City. I'm in New York City, so that I got on the train and I told my husband, I said I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna smile at people just on general purpose to see the reaction. And lo and behold, every person that I smiled at on that train, no matter what look or expression they had on their face, they smiled back. And so I was like, wow, honey. I said, y'all was just messing around. And I wanted to see if I smile at them, they smile back. And sure enough, so it's like I feel the energy that you put out is the energy that you get back. And me being a psychology major, it's like I've trained to read what's not said, the behaviors, the gestures, the just little things that it's like people wouldn't pay it no attention, but to me it means something. Then I'm like, wow, so it works. So I be doing little experiments like that, and it's all on how you perceive things because just saying good morning or have a good day to someone can change their whole outlook on that day. And that happened the other morning. The guy was on the train, he was upset, he was saying this, he was saying that. So I was getting off the train. I said, sir, I said, you have a blessed day, sir. And then he turned around, looked at me. He said, I thought he was going to say something, something rude or something. He said, you know what? He said, "Thank you. I will. I needed that." And I was like, "Yeah, see?" I was like, "You never know what is on someone's spirit that just your one word can change a person's whole thinking or their mood, or you never know." And that's how I was raised. I'm just a you gotta be happy with what you got. You gotta the words is my granny said you gotta make do. That's it.
Thank you for that, Lois.
So some of the values I would love to pass on to my children or currently working on is again love, like Chandra said, love and respect, empathy, compassion. I like mixing some of the old school values in there. So if an adult speaks to my child, you don't answer yes and no, right? It's yes who, no who. Like you address people properly. So I like some of that old school values, and of course I'm raising American children. But some of those things I instill in my children, as well as staying true to who they are and staying close to Christ. Okay, because I don't know how people live life without Jesus. Because it's with the Holy Spirit, the influence of the Holy Spirit that makes you make good choices and make you, are convicted about things that other people may not be convicted about. So I like that whole good Samaritan. If you see someone having a bad day, if you see someone needing help, you try and help them. But the basic love, care, compassion, respect, do unto others as you like. No, there's a time and place for everything. Know when to speak and know when not to speak. So it's a work in progress, but those are some of the values.
Lois, let me ask you: do you think that mothers are sometimes taken for granted and not given the respect that they truly deserve? And why do you think so? And why not?
I honestly think that's a case by case basis. I would not make a general statement to say yes or no. I honestly believe that's the case by case basis. So in your house, and it starts at home, right? How are you being treated in your house? How are you being respected? So I can't say yes or no, but I would say it's a individual case by case basis. That's a I'm not one of those to go on social media and rant and rave and say how terribly women are overlooked and not appreciated. I'm appreciated, okay? I feel appreciated and loved. And I hope that other mothers feel appreciated and loved. What I would say though, right? What I would say is that no one understands the journey and the plight of a mother except a mother. Like you have to be a mother to understand the heart and the journey of a mother. If you're not a mother, if you're a dad, if you're an uncle, we can tell you about it. We can tell you how it feels, right? But you would never understand the journey unless you become a mom.
And if you're that, that's impossible.
Right.
Chandra, how about yourself?
Repeat what was the question.
Sorry?
Repeat the question.
Oh, I was asking, do you think that mothers are sometimes taken for granted and not given enough respect?
Oh, yes. Yes, I think they are taken for granted and not given enough respect, especially for the mothers that go above and beyond. Um, it's like because you're the mother, you're supposed to. It's like an automatic thing. Just because I'm the mother, you're gonna think, oh, mommy gonna do it. Just because mommy gonna do it, because mommy gonna do everything. It's like that automatic response to everything, where it falls all on us. Oh, the mother is the head of the house. I mean, even though technically the daddy's supposed to be the head of the house, but the mother is the leading the family and taking care of the family and leading the household and doing this and doing that. So yes, we are taken for granted. It's because it's perceived the norm that mothers do the house duties, the washing, the cleaning, the dishes, the cooking, the this, that. Whereas nowadays it's whoever home do it. If I'm at work and my husband get home first, he go to the laundry or he cook the dinner. I don't have to automatically just he wait for me to come on my honey, start cooking dinner. No, it's a balance. So yes, I think mothers are taken for granted just because we're not given that credibility when we do the extra effort. It ain't that we got to do it. It's do it because we want to, because we love you. We want to make sure you're okay. We're gonna provide and make sure that we're gonna cook dinner just so we know that you're not hungry. That's just a part of us making sure that you're okay. And that's why I feel yes, we're taken for granted. Some people, not all people, take their mothers for granted.
Some people do take some people.
Yes.
So I yeah. So just like Lois said, Lois said, she said, it's on a case by case basis. So I'm assuming you're saying the same thing
Exactly.
as well, because it's not all mothers, because some mothers feel appreciated, they feel loved, they feel that the people respect them. Ladies, what advice would you give to, considering the journey that you've been through, and you continue to go, because you'll always be a mother, right? What advice do you have for young persons who wants to be mothers, and those who are actually expecting? What advice would you give to them? And we'll start with you, Lois.
I would say, so this is one phrase that I always heard, even when my children were really young, it would all work out. And when I was in the midst of the fire, that phrase irritated me a bit. It will all work out. I felt like people were saying that just to
Mhm.
like hush me up or, let it pass. But I've lived long enough, okay, that my children are 10 and 11 to see that it will all work out. So if you're pregnant right now, if you're planning on being a mom, it feels scary, but it will all work out. Take it one day at a time. Again, there is no manual, there is no, book that tells you how to be a mom. It's that internal, it's that maternal instinct that you get, and it will get hard. But we were built for hard things. We were made for hard things, and it will all work out.
Thank you so much for that. Chandra, how about you? Did I give you that opportunity? I haven't, right? Not yet.
No,
No.
No.
no,
Okay.
no. All right. I would say to expecting mothers or mothers to be that's going to be what I would say that give them love, guidance, protection, teach them values, morals, and self respect. And it's not always going to be easy, but try to put your child first and you second. Protect them at all costs, and everything in life is going to be a challenge, but give yourself grace and know that you're going to be all right if you just don't give up. And every day is not going to be a perfect day, but if you stay focused and dedicated as you get older, the love that your child will give you back will be that reward.
I like that. It will all work out.
Yes, it will.
No
It
matter
will.
what, it
No,
will
no matter
all
what,
work
it's
out.
all gonna work out. Whether it work out the way you like it or the way you work out, whether you don't like it, it's still gonna work out,
Yeah.
Work out.
right?
All good things must come to an end, and so must Bouyon.
Exactly.
But before we end, guys, we're gonna have a little bit of fun. You know,
Oh,
I like that kind of aspect of the quick fire round, where I ask these little nice questions, and you guys just answer and give me. So we're gonna start. So I'm gonna ask the question. So Chandra, you're gonna answer first, and then of course you, Lois.
Is it one
So
word? It's just a one word answer?
uh-huh.
it could be a phrase.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
Favorite mom moment.
Favorite mom moment: going to the park with my children, picnic.
Well, when my children just come on my bed and just hug and have conversations with me.
Nice. One word your child would use to describe you.
I have 4 children, but I only got 3 words from 3 of them. My youngest son said crazy. My oldest daughter said selfless, and my youngest daughter said selfless.
I think they would say gracious.
Gracious. Strict or soft parenting style.
Strict.
I did the opposite from Caribbean living. It's soft parenting with focused communication. Like I let them know what it is, but it's soft parenting style.
Early morning or late night.
Early morning. I get up every day at 4:30, 5 in the morning. I have to be to work by 7 o'clock. So I'm
It's
an
late
early
night. It's
morning
late
person.
nights for me.
Late
Late
night for
nights.
you.
Yeah,
Coffee or tea.
Coffee all day.
coffee for sure.
So I see none of you.
Coffee all day.
Coffee all day. Wow. I have one cup of coffee. That's it for me for the day. You know, once again, ladies, I want to really thank you guys for being on the Bouyon Talk Show. It has been a joy speaking to you guys. I want to say thank
Thank
you to
you.
everyone who have joined us. What I want to do is to give each of you ladies 30 seconds to address the audience. I will do that now. I will start with you, Chandra. 30 seconds.
Um, I just wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to all the wonderful mothers out there, the stepmoms, the pet moms, the grandmoms, the wannabe moms. Just enjoy your life. Have a blessed day, and God will provide.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen.
I also want to say happy Mother's Day to all of the beautiful ladies out there, all of the moms. And to keep going, God is with you and He's going to continue to give you the grace and the strength to raise your children. Just depend on God and He got you and you got this. Again, we were made for hard things and we can do it. And thank
Amen.
you.
Great. Thank you so much, guys. Normally I don't prepare a closing statement for my shows, but for some reason I felt I should today. So I did just that. I sat down this morning before I went to Sunday service and I drafted something out that I wanted to read out because I want to say to my mother, thank you, Mom, for all that you do. Thank you so very much. I want to say to my wife, thank you so much for all that you do for our children. I want to say thanks to all the mothers out there for all the hard work that they do. So here's what I've written today. As we come to the end of tonight's Mother's Day special, we just want to say one more time, thank you to all mothers, grandmothers, godmothers, and mother figures who continue to love, guide, sacrifice, and inspire young people. Godmothers are important as well. I want to say
Yes.
that. Tonight's conversation reminded us that motherhood is more than a title. It is strength, patience, resilience, compassion, and unconditional love, all wrapped up into one. So, every mother listening tonight, please know that what you do matters. Your sacrifice matters. Your love matters. And even when you may feel tired, overlooked, or unappreciated at times, you are deeply, deeply valued. Continue being the amazing woman you are, and never underestimate the impact you have on our families, your communities, and the next generation. From all of us here at the Bouyon Talk Show and Watch Radio NYC, we want to wish every mother a beautiful, peaceful, love-filled Mother's Day. This is your host, Peter D, saying thank you for tuning in. And remember, celebrate your mothers, not your mother, not just today, but every single day. Happy, happy Mother's Day. And good night to everybody. Thank you for being part of Bouyon. I will
Thank
see you
you.
guys next week. Thank you.